At intersections of two-lane roads having traffic lanes, motorized bicycles must make a two-step right turn to avoid an accident when turning right. False. If an intersection has traffic signal, has 3 or more lanes in each direction, or is posted with a two-step right turn for MOPS sign, motorized bicycles must make a two-step right turn. When turning right at an intersection, you should be sufficiently alert to motorcycles or the like that may appear behind oncoming motor vehicles. True, when turning right, keep in mind that motorcycles or the like may be hidden behind an oncoming motor vehicle. When riding double on a motorcycle, the motorist must be aware that the passenger's movement is slower than that of the motorists, making it more difficult to avoid dangers. True, when riding double on a motorcycle, the driver must be aware that the passenger's movement is slower than that of the drivers, making it more difficult to avert danger. People must not ride in the bed of the truck. However, when the minimum number of people needed to keep watch over the cargo may ride in the bed, you need not obtain permission from the chief of police. True, you need not obtain permission from the chief of police when the minimum number of people needed to keep watch over the cargo may ride in the bed of the truck. In order to prevent the cargo from tumbling onto an expressway, you should check the loading condition and binding condition before getting on an expressway. If the cargo might loosen up, you should retighten it firmly. True, you should make sure you pack and tie your load firmly. If vehicles halted just in front of a bicycle crossing zone, you may keep driving at the same speed when there are no bicycles crossing in the zone. False. When vehicles stop before a bicycle crossing zone, you must come to a halt and only proceed after ensuring the way is safe. Motorcyclists should keep both knees open wide with their toes pointed outward. False. Motorcyclists must grip the fuel tank with both knees and their toes should be pointed forward. The markings in the drawing indicate that vehicles must proceed along the path indicated by the arrows when turning right at the intersection. True, the pavement markings indicate a right turn route. Vehicles must proceed at a reduced speed along a path indicated by the arrows. While it is not permissible to drive after drinking alcohol, it is okay if you have just had a little to drink. False. You must not drive even after consuming only a very small amount of alcohol. Drivers holding a large-size truck license may operate a large-size truck, medium-size automobile, semi-medium-size truck, regular car, and heavy special equipment. False. They may not operate heavy special equipment. During rainy weather, you must drive at a reduced speed since your vehicle could hydroplane at high speeds. True, hydroplaning occurs when driving at high speeds when a layer of water builds between the rubber tires of the vehicle and the road surface, leading to the loss of traction and thus preventing the vehicle from responding to control inputs, such as steering or braking. When you have witnessed a hit-and-run accident, you should help the victim and report the license plate number type, color, or any other features of the vehicle that you have noticed. True, when you have witnessed a hit-and-run accident, you should help the victim and report the license plate number, type, color, or any other features of the vehicle that you have noticed. Both parking and stopping are prohibited in the tunnel, regardless of whether traffic lanes are provided. True, neither parking nor stopping is permissible in the tunnel. Double riding is prohibited on the road posted with the following sign. True, this is a no double riding sign indicating that double riding on large or regular motorcycles is prohibited. When backing up, it is best to use your own judgment, rather than relying on the assistance of passengers or others to check behind your vehicle. False, it is one of good safety measures to ask for passengers or others to check behind the vehicle. On the road posted was the following sign: regular cars may travel on the streetcar tracks, but large size and regular motorcycles may not. False, the sign is driving on tracks permitted, meaning that all automobiles may travel on the tracks. You must turn on your headlights or the light even during daytime when visibility is less than 50 meters to 0 meters for expressways, in a tunnel or due to fog. True, you must turn on your headlights or the light when traveling through the areas noted above. You should temporarily stop to allow the oncoming traffic to go past if you cannot pass the bicyclist with a safe margin on the left-hand side. True, you should reduce speed or stop temporarily to allow the oncoming traffic to go past. Although the space to the right of the parked vehicle would be less than 3.5 meters, a driver loads and unloads cargo for 10 minutes. True, it is illegal to park on the road if the space to the right of the parked vehicle would be less than 3.5 meters. However, the rule does not apply to parking in regard to loading and unloading, provided the driver is able to move the vehicle immediately. If it does not take long to leave your vehicle, you have only to extend the handbrake and need not turn off the engine and lock the doors. False, when leaving your vehicle even for a while, you must turn off the engine and lock the doors to prevent car theft. When applying the brake, push as hard as you can initially. False, step on the brake as light as possible initially. You should come to a stop or reduce speed before merging into the main through lane of an expressway so that you may not impede the passage of other vehicles traveling in the main through lane. False, you need not come to a stop or reduce speed. You should accelerate to a sufficient speed in the acceleration lane and merge smoothly into the main through lane. While I realized I may have to come to a stop on the railway due to the congested traffic ahead, the alarm at the crossing was not sounding, and so I proceeded after ensuring that the tracks were clear. False, you should never attempt to cross a railway when traffic on the other side is congested and may force you to come to a halt in the tracks. Double riding on an expressway, excluding some motorways, is permitted if you must be at least 20 years of age and have possessed a large motorcycle license or regular motorcycle license for a total of 3 years or more. True, drivers who are at least 20 years of age with a period of holding large or regular motorcycle license for 3 years or more in total are permitted to ride double on an expressway. It is important to map out your route when driving a long distance because you could become lost, requiring extra time to reach your destination. True, without planning your route before driving a long distance, you might become lost and take longer to reach your destination. Since there is less wind resistance, the more you lean forward on a motorcycle, it is easier to operate a motorcycle when leaning far forward. False. Leaning too far forward can be dangerous as it reduces your field of vision. It is important to maintain a correct riding posture on a motorcycle. Vehicles may not travel on streetcar tracks as a rule, but may cross the tracks or turn right across the tracks, for example. True, vehicles may traverse the tracks when turning left or right, for example, and may proceed along the tracks when the normal road is obstructed by construction or the like. When parking on side strip is unavoidable due to vehicle breakdown on an expressway, you must turn on hazard flasher, parking light, or taillight even during the daytime, and also place a triangle reflector to the rear of your vehicle when visibility is reduced to less than 200 meters. True, when visibility is reduced to less than 200 meters, you must turn on hazard flasher, parking light, or taillight even during the daytime, and also place a triangle reflector to the rear of your vehicle, regardless of whether it is day or night. The following sign directs you to turn left. True, the sign is proceed only to designated directions. In this case, you may not proceed forward or turn right, but may turn left. Swinging the flashlight to the side, as indicated in the drawing, is equivalent to a yellow signal for traffic traveling in the direction of the arrow. False. This signal is equivalent to a green light for traffic traveling in the direction that the flashlight is swinging. When the traffic signal is flashing red, you should come to a stop and proceed after making sure it is safe. True, when the traffic signal is flashing red, you must always stop temporarily and proceed after making sure it is safe. When stopping or parking on a one-way street, you may stop or park on either the left or right sides of the street, provided the vehicle is near the edge of the road. False. You must park or stop along the left edge of the road. The rule applies when parking or stopping on a one-way street. A regular motorcycle can be parked and stopped even on the top of a slope because its body is small. False. Even regular motorcycle cannot be parked and stopped in the area designated as a prohibited area. Fast start, sudden acceleration, or wasting acceleration operation consumes more fuel than usual. True, fast start, sudden acceleration, or wasting acceleration operation in particular is a cause to increase fuel consumption. The maximum speed designated for regular cars with an engine of 660 cc's or less is 80 km per hour on main through lanes of national expressways. False. The maximum speed designated for regular cars with an engine of 660 cc's or less is 100 kilometers per hour on main through lanes of national expressways. If you notice a soft or squishy feeling when you firmly press down on the brake pedal, you may not stop quickly and efficiently. True, a sinking brake pedal may be an indication of a brake fluid leak or a partial malfunction of the brakes. I noticed a streetcar signaling to proceed from the stop. However, since I had to drive fast, I drove alongside the streetcar while sounding the horn. False. You must not sound the horn, even when you have to drive fast. Except for roads in special village zones, you may not park continuously in the same spot on a road for more than 12 hours during the day, more than 8 hours at night. True, you may not park in the same location for more than 12 hours during the day and more than 8 hours at night. A road with a center line or vehicle traffic lanes provided in the intersections is a priority road. True, in addition to the road described above, a road posted with a right-of way sign is also a priority road. Rely on the braking power of the engine when you go down a long slope by shifting to lower gears or changing gears to the 2-end or L1 street position. In case of automatic cars, a foot brake should be used when necessary. True, an engine brake is mainly used, while a foot brake plays a role as an auxiliary backup brake. Motorcyclists should wear a helmet and clothing of a highly visible color because they are often overlooked by drivers of four-wheeled vehicles. True, wear a colorful helmet and clothing to enhance your visibility. Enhancing visibility is one way to protect yourself. When driving in fog, snowstorm and the like, you should follow the vehicle ahead while paying attention to the vehicle's taillights and brake lights. True, when driving in fog, snowstorm, etc., you must pay attention to the vehicle's taillights and brake lights. You may park for not more than 5 minutes for loading and unloading within 5 meters from the corner of a road. False. Stopping for not more than 5 minutes for loading and unloading is not considered parking. However, since the area within 5 meters from the corner of a road is designated as a no parking or stopping area, you may not park your vehicle. A person who has held a large-size motorcycle license or standard motorcycle license for less than a year may not take a passenger on a motorcycle. True, a person who has held a large motorcycle license or regular motorcycle license for less than a year may not take a passenger on a motorcycle. The following traffic sign indicates no parking. False. This is a closed to all vehicles sign, indicating that automobiles, motorized bicycles and light vehicles must not enter the road posted with the sign. The minimum speed on national expressways is 60 kilometers per hour, regardless of automobile types. False. The minimum speed on national expressways is 50 kilometers per hour. You should test the brakes after passing through a deep puddle since the brakes sometimes lose their effectiveness. True, you should apply the brakes several sometimes to test their effectiveness after passing through a deep puddle since the brakes sometimes lose their effectiveness. You may drive with a defective turn signal if you employ hand signals. False. Since the failure of the turn signal is caused by improper maintenance on your vehicle, you must not drive such a vehicle. It feels like you are driving faster at night than during the day, even though your speed is the same. False. Since the darkness of nighttime makes it difficult to see the surrounding landscape, you may feel as if you are driving slower than during the daytime. The following two signs indicate a crosswalk is coming up. True, both signs are pedestrian crossing signs. A vehicle is said to have stopped when the conditions for parking do not apply to a stationary vehicle or when the vehicle can be moved immediately by the driver. True, a vehicle is said to have stopped when a driver stops a vehicle for a little while and can move the vehicle immediately. The maximum speed on motor vehicles, only roads and expressways having no median, is the same as that on ordinary roads. True, the maximum speed on motorways and main through lanes of national expressways having no median strip is the same as that on ordinary roads, or 60 kph. When an emergency vehicle approaches vehicles in an intersection, must immediately pull over to the left and reduce speed. False. In this example, vehicles should pull over to the left side of the road after passing through the intersection and stop momentarily. Route buses have the right of way over other vehicles when turning right at a green signal. False. Even when the signal is green, route buses have no right of way over other vehicles. A motorized bicycle operator must make a two-step turn when turning right at a traffic signal intersection, having 3 or more lanes in the same direction. True, a motorized bicycle operator must make a two-stage turn when turning right at the traffic signal intersection, having 3 or more lanes in the same direction. In areas where a no vehicle crossing sign is posted, you are prohibited from crossing with a left turn or right turn in order to enter or leave the roadside. False. You are not prohibited from crossing with a left turn in order to enter or leave the roadside facility. The center line is not always provided in the center of the road. True, the center line is not always provided in the center of the road. When your vehicle has flat tire while driving on an expressway, you must slam on the brakes to stop the vehicle. False. You must not slam on the brakes, but step on them several times. The numbers on an inspection sticker fixed to the windshield of an ordinary motor vehicle indicate the date for the next inspection. False. The numbers in the inspection sticker represent the month and year for the next inspection. When the yellow signal is flashing, you must proceed slowly. False. You may proceed while watching out for other traffic. Dropping your speed from 60 km per hour to 20 kph is equivalent to driving slowly. False. Driving slowly means the speed limit is not more than 10 km per hour or less, allowing you to stop quickly. I came to a halt before the intersection because there was traffic congestion ahead that may have forced me to halt in the intersection. True, the same rule for intersections applies to situations that may force you to halt within no stopping zones, railway crossings, and crosswalks. When given by the police officer as pictured, the two hand signals carry the same meaning for traffic facing the officer. True, these pictured hand signals denote a red light for traffic facing the officer. You may park on the road if the space to the right of the parked vehicle would be not less than 2.5 meters. False. 2.5 meters is incorrect. You must not park on a narrow road, as a general rule, if the space to the right of the parked vehicle would be less than 3.5 meters. When a route bus is pulled over at a bus stop, you may not drive around the bus but must wait until the bus proceeds. False. You may drive around the bus, provided that you do not impede the bus's progress. When hand signals given by a police officer or other traffic controller differ from the traffic signal, you should obey the traffic signal. False. When hand signals given by a police officer and other traffic controllers differ from the traffic signal, you should obey the hand signals. Braking distance indicates the distance that a motorized vehicle travels before coming to a full stop after the brakes begin to take effect. True, the braking distance indicates the distance that a vehicle travels before coming to a full stop after the brakes begin to take effect. Sometimes drivers communicate at an intersection by flashing their lights, but you should keep a close watch on the other driver's actions since flashed lights may carry a different significance depending on the situation. True, flashed lights can have the meaning, go ahead or stay put, I'm coming through. You must not drive slower than 30 kph on a road posted with the following sign. True, the sign is minimum speed limit, indicating you must not drive slower than 30 kilometers per hour. When driving on an uphill slope, you should use your handbrake in a four-wheeled vehicle and your rear brake on a motorcycle. True, you must use these brakes on an uphill slope to prevent yourself from rolling backwards. This sign indicates that overtaking is prohibited. False. This is a no passing on the right hand portion of the road for overtaking sign. The no overtaking sign has an auxiliary sign stating in Japanese. Light special equipment, motorized bicycles, and light vehicles are permitted to travel in traffic lanes designated by markings or signs as exclusive lanes for route buses, etc. True, as a rule, light special equipment, motorized bicycles, and light vehicles may use exclusive lanes together with the designated vehicles. A driver of vehicles is responsible if any muddy water is splashed on pedestrians, even when driving through mud or puddles at a reduced speed. True, the driver is responsible for splashing muddy water on pedestrians, even if he/she had slowed down. When crossing over a railroad, you should keep as far left as possible while watching out for pedestrians and the oncoming traffic. False. When crossing over a railroad track, you should drive not to the left edge, but slightly closer to the center to avoid a wheel slipping off the road. Attempting to overtake an automobile ahead of you while the automobile is overtaking another automobile is double overtaking and is prohibited. True, the action in this case is double overtaking and is prohibited. When towing a disabled vehicle with a rope, the overall distance from the front of the towing vehicle and the rear of the vehicle being towed must not exceed 20 meters. False. When towing two vehicles, the distance from the front of the towing vehicle to the rear of the towed vehicle must be within 25 meters. You may not drive into areas posted with the following "No Entry Zone" sign for any reason. True, you may not drive into areas posted with the "No Entry Zone" sign for any reason. Our vision is impaired when we move suddenly from a dark place to a bright place, but not when coming out of a dark place into a bright place. False. People are momentarily blinded when coming out of a dark area into bright sunlight. Regular cars are allowed to tow up to two disabled vehicles. True, regular cars can tow up to two vehicles. When following another vehicle, you must maintain the distance, approximately equivalent to the braking distance of your vehicle. False. Braking distance is incorrect. You must maintain a distance at least equivalent to the stopping distance of your vehicle. You may straddle a pedestrian zone for parking on roads with a wide side strip, provided that you can leave 0.75 meters or more of space on the left-hand side of the vehicle. True. When straddling a pedestrian zone for parking, you must leave 0.75 meters or more of space on the left-hand side of the vehicle for pedestrian to pass through. You must not drive on shoulder of expressways, but you may travel on the side strip if the traffic ahead is congested. False. You must not drive on the side strip, even in case of traffic congestion. Motorcyclists may not use sidewalks or crosswalks, even when pushing their motorcycles with the engine off. False. Since the motorcyclist is treated as a pedestrian in this case, using sidewalks or crosswalks is permitted. You should always mount tire chains on the rear wheels, regardless of whether the drive wheels are in the front or rear. False. Tire chains should be mounted on the front wheels for a front-wheel drive vehicle and on the rear wheels for a rear-wheel drive vehicle. Baggage loaded on a mop may not exceed the lengths and widths of the baggage carrier. False. The baggage may protrude 0.15 meters from the left and right sides and 0.3 meters from the rear of the motorized bicycle. Since pedestrians such as the elderly, children, and the like are more prone to unexpected behavior, you should be particularly alert to their activity when such pedestrians are near. True, you should pay particularly close attention to behaviors of the elderly and children. The following sign indicates motor vehicles only. True, this is a regulatory sign that designates national expressways and roads for the use of automobiles only. You are traveling at 40 kilometers per hour. What should you be watching for in this situation? True, The pedestrian on the left may attempt to cross the safety zone and walk in front of your vehicle. You should drive slowly enough to be able to come to a stop if needed and keep an eye on the pedestrian's movement. You are traveling at 40 kilometers per hour. What should you be watching for in this situation? True, since it is not clear whether the pedestrian in the safety zone will attempt to cross the road, you must proceed at a reduced speed and be prepared to stop at any time. You are traveling at 40 kilometers per hour. What should you be watching for in this situation? False. While there is a pedestrian in the safety zone, it does not appear that the pedestrian intends to cross the street. Therefore, you may continue without slowing down. Explanations. You must drive slowly when a pedestrian is present in the safety zone, anticipating that the pedestrian could walk across the road. You should also be attentive to the pedestrian on the left who may cross the safety zone in order to board the streetcar. You are traveling on an expressway at 80 kilometers per hour. What should you be watching for in this situation? True, the vehicle ahead on the right is attempting to change into your lane. You should reduce your speed so that the vehicle can change into the lane in front of you. You are traveling on an expressway at 80 kilometers per hour. What should you be watching for in this situation? False. If the vehicle ahead on the right were to change into your lane, you could not maintain a safe distance between your vehicle and the vehicle. Therefore, you should accelerate to prevent the vehicle from entering the lane in front of you. You are traveling on an expressway at 80 kilometers per hour. What should you be watching for in this situation? True, if the vehicle ahead on the right were to change into your lane, you could not maintain a safe distance between your vehicle and the vehicle. Therefore, you should change into the left lane. Explanations. By accelerating suddenly, you risk colliding with the vehicle ahead on the right that is signaling to change lanes. In this case, you should reduce speed to leave sufficient room between your vehicles, or change into the left-hand lane to allow the vehicle ahead to change lanes safely. You are traveling at 40 kilometers per hour. What should you be watching for in this situation? True, since bridges tend to become icy, you should reduce your speed sufficiently before reaching the bridge to avoid sliding. You are traveling at 40 kilometers per hour. What should you be watching for in this situation? False. There is no oncoming traffic or other potential dangers, so you can proceed at a normal speed. You are traveling at 40 kilometers per hour. What should you be watching for in this situation? True, since the bridge could be slippery, you should slow down and drive over the bridge while avoiding sudden braking or turning. Explanations. Drive slowly when crossing bridges as bridges tend to become icy. You are traveling at 80 kilometers per hour on an expressway. What should you be watching for in this situation? True, maintain sufficient distance from the vehicle ahead as the vehicle may slow down without warning. True, since vision drops suddenly when entering a tunnel at high speeds, reduce your speed before entering the tunnel. False. Since vision drops suddenly when entering a tunnel at high speeds, accelerate so that you can follow a lead vehicle closely. Explanations. Since sudden changes in brightness temporarily reduce your vision, drastically, reduce your speed before entering a tunnel and proceed so as not to follow a lead vehicle more closely than is reasonable and prudent. When slowing down, step on the brakes several times to avoid a collision with a trailing vehicle. You are traveling at 50 kilometers per hour. What should you be watching in this situation? True. Immediately after a motorcycle overtakes your vehicle on the left side, it may cross your lane in order to avoid a vehicle which attempts to turn left. Therefore, you must proceed while paying attention to the motorcycle. True. Immediately after a motorcycle overtakes your vehicle on the left side, it may cross your lane in order to avoid a vehicle which attempts to turn left. Therefore, you must proceed while paying attention to the motorcycle. True. You should proceed slowly while preparing for a vehicle ahead on the right to cross into your lane in order to avoid a vehicle which attempts to turn right. False. Since it is anticipated that a vehicle ahead on the right will stop and wait until a leading vehicle completes a right turn, you may continue at the same speed. Explanations. When driving on roads with 3 or more traffic lanes, you should be on the lookout for potential danger by paying attention to vehicles driving on other lanes.